Good night for you. Yes, sir. Can we record the meeting in order to share it with other people to explain something? The point is that it will be useful to explain your doubts with other people in order to engage the UX person. Because at this moment, if, for example, you can provide probably resources with programmers, but we need UX. That's the point. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So let me know what question do you have in order to explain it. Did you read something that I shared with you? Did you read something? Did you read something that I shared with you? Yes, as I explained it to you, let me open the documentation about an invitation. Give me a hold. This is the presentation for co-founders, investor of time. Are you seeing? Okay, this is the yes. We are planning to create different things. What we are doing at this moment, we are organizing a document with user stories and with problems where we are working now. The idea is to define the scope of an MVP. Yesterday, I had a meeting with a potential investor from United States. He is living in Colombia, and he made me three questions about how money did we need, how many time we will need, and how are we going to make it real. So I started to make the budget with two persons for the moment about their time because we are going to prepare the investment budget. So we are also going to make a financial simulation model in order to share with investors. What we are planning to do is that we are planning an scope for $100,000, $500,000, 1 million, and 10 millions. We are going to create four scenarios in the document. We are going to prepare a business model canvas, a value map, a market product fit, the milestone, the roadmap, pitch deck, and each one of us will prepare the roles in each position. We are going. I prefer to allow each person to define it. That we are going to do. So at this moment, as you can see in the post that I did, we are searching for potential co-founders. In your case, uh, I think that you will add a lot of value in the table if you are interested because I was reading that you are working with international you have has customer international business machine and you have large experience with software projects. So in this point for starting, yes, 500, awesome. Yeah, I understand. But well, the point is that it is very good if you have a team of 50 people. What we are planning to do is that we are going to define how many people can make deliverables. For example, in this case, I made the deliverables with someone from the team, with two persons that they have a financial approach. We are going to focus on this. 3 days for the investment budget and 108 hours for the financial simulation model. When one person, I am waiting to confirm with the other. For example, with the MVP, we defined that we want to make a journey map, user flow of medium fidelity, the architecture interaction, and architecture information. Yes, yes, sir. My name is Andres Buitrago. Yes, yes, Andres. Andres, or in English, Andrew with the W. Yes, in English. Yes. Okay, great. Very good. No. Yes, sir. I am from Colombia. No, I am right now in Colombia. Yes. Well, yeah, I am astonished about your profile, your large experience. I think that in this case you can add a lot of value in the products that we are planning to create. Uh, in my case, I want to introduce you with my LinkedIn. Uh, Now I am going to share also after this my personal presentation in order to share some things about me. I have, if you want to make a due diligence about me, I have my personal presentation. I have 77 pages CV and a one page CV. And well, at this moment, what I'm trying to, my main focus at this moment is trying to connect people and organization through compatibility in goals and problems to solve. It has a lot of challenges. In this case, I am happy to perceive that someone with with a team of 50 people could be interested on this because beyond the MVP, we can attempt to explore further about challenges in natural processing languages, and particular in, for example, in India that have different languages, and in this case with English, in Spanish, we must explore it. But the point is that it could be very awesome. In this case, I am trying to design the future of humanity matching. In this case, I perceive that if we match people and organization through compatibility in goals and problems to solve, is a very deep match with people, and it can create different elements such as compatibility for entrepreneurship, for activism, for friendship. Well, that's the point. I am also trying to design the future of socialist management, of organization building, projects articulation, and initiatives boosting. What we are trying to create with Minnzer could explain that purposes. I have experience at this moment. I need to recalculate it. This is in Spanish. Give me a hold. I have 22 years of experience in several forms of entrepreneurship. At this moment, I am trying to explore to integrate 8 forms of entrepreneurship. Uh, this year, I faced my seventh bankruptcy. I was this year in Silicon Valley. I requested political asylum, but I had to return because I didn't find a informal job and I didn't have money to pay the expenses in Silicon Valley without an informal job and without an employment authorization. So I had to come back. As you can perceive, I'm explaining that I am articulating goals, purposes, and opportunity with organization and people who are helping to evolve our civilization. That's a little bit of me. I already explained it about 22 years in 4 industry: textile, fashion, direct sales, and digital entertainment. And now I'm trying to hybridize 8 forms of entrepreneurship: scientific entrepreneurship, technological, digital, academic, corporate, social, cultural, and parallel. I have created more than 60 brands. Some of them we are planning to become organization, and some of them will be non-profits or are non-profits. I have conducted different type of research as a researcher, and concerning the space of software, I am an aspiring inventor. I drafted 2 patents in the technical field of data management systems and methods, digital electrical data processing, and digital information transmission. In the documentation that I shared with you, I shared one draft of a provisional patent application. The other draft is in Spanish. It was for a grant of the government in 2018. So I'm excited to see what the future holds, and I am eager to collaborate with others to build a better world. That's a little bit about me. I have an inexplicable passion for innovation, research, technology, creativity, and science. And I can work, study, train, meditate, and reflect up to 18 hours per day. Today I didn't sleep. I was all the night working, and this year I did the record that I was 5 days awake. So let me know if you have any question. If you want to. So at this moment, yesterday I had a conversation with a potential investor. Sorry, from a startup studio. What I'm trying to do at this moment is to validate, for example, in your case as a technical co-founder, how many times are you able to invest in an MVP prior to receive a investment, and we need to make the scenario how much will you charge for your work when we get resources. So, for example, if we raise 100 dollars, we need to make an scenario with $100. If we make $100,000, $500,000, and we need to define the scope with each one of with each budget that we need to define. Or if we get $1 million, $10 million. For the moment, I would like to invite you to support us in the UX research. We are, for example, we have this documentation, and I am encouraging people to write the user stories in English and some problems through the How My We methodology in this document in order to define what we can do. That's what I'm doing at this moment. Concerning this point, uh, I would like to know how many time can you invest, for example, for an MVP, 1 weekend, 2 weekends, 50 hours, 100 hours prior to receiving an investment. Because what we are planning to explain to potential investors is that we are a team of people who are looking to connect people and organization bank compatibility in problems, in goals and problems to solve. And we need to focus part time, full time in this. Sorry. Okay. Okay. What we are trying to do, as I shared it in the, give me a whole, I open the presentation. I am searching for it. I am not seeing it. Okay, here. Yes, no, I only want to give you a visual explanation about what I'm trying to reply. So the point is that we want to create an organizer and matcher in order to make it easy people to understand. We are trying to create a social network of goals and problems to solve. So the point is that, for example, in this case, we are we don't have an space to match with another potential entrepreneurs or with researchers or inventors, according, for example, if each one of us is interested in solving specific problems or achieve specific goals. We need to create it because at this moment we have goal management software, problem management software, but I haven't seen anything who allows to make social connections, and that's what we're trying to create at this moment. So for this reason, we are collecting user stories. We are validating the pertinence of the user stories, and that's what we're planning to create. And I give an example how will it work, so how it will works. It can start by setting goals, problems, questions. A user, for example, can join other user goals, problems, or questions. For example, in the conversation of yesterday with someone else, we was talking concerning the journey map of a problem. You can, for example, match with people who are interested in the same problem, or with people who can help you to solve the problem, as to solve a problem, or with people who have the same problem. In this case, for example, we also was brainstorming that we need to define different journey maps for personal problems or for social problems or for business problem, because it generates different match of situations. So that's what we are going to, that's what we are the validating at this moment. For the reason I am inviting you to get involved in the user research prior to make a prototype. It will be very useful if you get in love about this challenge. The main challenge is trying to connect humanity or people and organization by goals and problems and interests. So that's what we are planning to create. Are you familiar with this, or do you have any other question? We can make recommendation, but the problem is that we don't have a platform to match people according to goals and problems. That's the problem. Yeah, and we have different problems. For example, in this case, I am not sure if you are familiar with home my with methodology to define problems. If you want to evaluate the problems that I am working, working in 56 problems. With the conversation that I had with the other co-founders yesterday, but it was in Spanish. I was defining with them another problems who another problem that they are interested in solve. So in this case, according the challenge of match people by goals, problems, and interests, we need to go deep about, in your case, in a technical field, what kind of technical problems could be we could be solving. For example, I am perceiving a very natural language processing problem uh, to attach specific and general goals to defining goals of users. For example, if you define a goal, we need to train different algorithms to attach your goal to another specific or general goals in order to make match by goals. I think that it is a very complex problem. Search all the problems in the platform and try to attach the general and specific goals related with your problem. Another technical problem is how might we create a search engine of goals on the web. This is another, for example, technical problem to create a search engine about it. Because in this case, for example, we are planning to create a non-profit to research, debate, and promote the metadata of goals and metadata of problems in order, for example, to propose that we can attach goals or problems to a group in a social network, to a publication, to a picture, to a video, to an infographic, and different things in order that when you are using our system, you can find the content or you can match with people according to the tags that it has in the information. That's something that we are planning to do. It is a little bit complex, but in this case, we are proposing to humanity that concerning the management of data and information from goals and problems, we want to use it. And concerning the internet business, that is mainly the advertisement, we are our case able to create an API to allow other social networks to use our data and information if the user allow it, in order to improve the accuracy of the advertisement in different social networks. I am explaining that we are planning to create a social network in order to make it easy people to understand, but we are not planning to compete with social network. We are not planning for the moment to create, for example, a post section or feeds. We are planning to improve the matching, and then when we make the matching, we also want to evaluate how to integrate different good practices. For example, the HomeIWI, OKRs, Penbook, Scrum, how to facilitate the crowdsourcing, how, such as in this case, it is very important to use the leasing pie or to use the vesting, but we need to make the match for starting. For example, I have been sending a proposal to a company who offered the to facilitate the data the management of information to companies using software to improve their systems. And as I explained it them, they are offering to a specific organization, but we want to make it scalable to any person or organization who wants to use it. and we want to use it for matching particularly, because you can use it for yourself in different software. There are a lot of options, there are hundreds of options, but we want to make match with this information, and that's where we are planning to create. Did you understand me, or what do you think about it? So, as I explained you yesterday, we agreed that we are going to make a investment budget, and we are going to make a financial simulation model to explain it. Each feature, what kind of features. I am proposing two options on internet that are not usual. For example, I think that we can charge $1 in undeveloped countries and $5 in developed countries for premium features. I am also planning to make micro features. For example, if you want to have more than 10 match per month, you can pay another 5 match. For example, if you need it. This is an example, but I am not sure that we are going to make it. I am explaining, for example, in LinkedIn, if you want to make a group or more than 50 persons, you need to pay something else. It could be $1 in a developed country and $10 in a developed country. For example, we're talking about those kind of features. Or if you want to customize the rules of a group that only could get involved with people who demonstrated a contribution in a specific goals and problems. It could be a closed group, for example, and make match with people who are working on those kinds of things. We can also generate revenue with blockchain timestamping. I think that it is important in your field, because you told me that you are focused in Python and blockchain. And for example, after at this moment, we have a challenge after this match, because we need to make a vesting agreement, and we need to distribute the company that we could create, or the asset. And if we want to make this agreement real, we can automatize some process, and then we can sign the agreement and timestamp the agreement. We can offer it in my LinkedIn network. I have a company from Germany. Their name is Bernstein. They provide a wide brand service if we want to use it. I am giving an example that charge between $5 and $10 by certification. I don't know if they are able to provide this price in a scalable way, but well, we can offer timestamping. I don't know if we can make a technology of timestamping by ourselves. In your case, if you have experience about it, we must validate it, but we need to go deep about it. It is only hypothesis. And the other revenue is that, in this case, for example, if we provide the data that we are generating to us another social network, and for example, an organization wants to make an advertisement on LinkedIn, and they promote that the advertisement only could be displayed to people who is interested in the zero hunger social development goal, and they make the advertisement, and LinkedIn use this data, because we obtained the data from a user about this parameter, this taxonomy. And according to the payment of the advertisement, we are proposing to charges a small fee for use our data. I think that it will be important if different social networks cooperate, exchanging the data that they collect from the users in an anonymous way to another social networks, because it will improve the advertisement in the social network. For example, sometimes I receive advertisement in YouTube and Spotify that I didn't like, and the organization who is paying for the advertisement, they are wasting the money because they are paying my free service, and I am not interested in this product. So I think that we have a very important contribution in the advertisement business. And in our case, we are able to share the information, and we need to negotiate if the other social network are able to share it. It is something very complex, but I am able to lead these negotiations, and that's something that we want to propose in this case to make it real. Because, for example, if you visualize the draft of the provisional patent application that I shared with you, I am explaining that, for example, we can create a hub API system for social network data management, and imagine that we cross the data of the pages data of people, the pages that they follow in Facebook, in YouTube, the music that they listen on YouTube or on Spotify. And when you want to make an advertisement, for example, if you use the data of pages and music from different social networks, you can pay a fee for the pages, the data that you get from Facebook, and the music that you get from Spotify or YouTube. If you make the advertisement, you can make it in this process, and you don't need to request to the user to fill the information again, because uh, we already have the information of the user in on internet, but it is closed. In this case, if you need to make a reason to open it, it is something of the most complex negotiation. But I think that at any moment we are going to reach something like this. So let me know, what do you think about it? Sorry, I don't understand your point. Ah, you mean that if we make it, people will not use the other social network anymore? Yes, yes, I understand the risk, but I think that we need to define it in a transparent way. The point is that probably you can install the data and make sheets about it, but I think that we can create the standards to encrypt the data of the user in order to only get access in a partnership with the social network. For the reason I told you, that it is something of the most complex to negotiate, but in our case, we are able to provide this data. In our case, we need to wait what could be the position of the other social network, because at this moment, any social network or any digital product is collecting information about goals and problems of people. We are open the market in this field, and in this case, if they use this data to improve the advertisement, it will be better for them, because the organization who are paying for the advertisement can make more segmented agreements. That's something that we are proposing to consider in the internet business, the internet industry, in the advertisement industry of digital marketing. And that's our proposal to another proposal to generate revenue, for example. But if it doesn't make real soon, we need to make the scenario that, for example, we are going to negotiate it in 2 years, or at least that we are going to provide it, and that's what we are planning to do. Do you have any other question, comment, idea? Sorry. For as I told you, we need to define it according to the resources of the people. For example, if you say me, I could invest 100 hours for an MVP. We have 100 hours for an MVP of Python developers and blockchain development. And we need to define according to your position, because at this moment I can pay you for your services with money, and you will define it. Okay, I will invest $100, and we need to define it. For example, as I explained to you yesterday, I did an agreement. It was in Spanish. I already shared the agreement in a post, the meeting. We are going to focus in the investment budget according to four scenarios, as I explained to you, and a financial simulation model. And we will invest 108 hours for make it. That's what we are going to explain, because at this moment, for example, I give you a broad perspective about the revenue streams, but we need to go further. And if we, for example, provide you a financial simulation model, you can evaluate the hypothesis of revenue, and you can include something or eliminate something or make different assumptions, things like that. And that's our next step, because we need to uh, we need to demonstrate that our market opportunity is very big. Nobody is focused on this field, and we need to go deep about it. We are planning to invest 108 hours to explain it, and I think that you can make a best decision if you want to invest 100, 200 hours, 500 hours, or if, for example, we can receive an investment with a prototype, and we don't know what could happen. But at this moment, we are going to focus on the market opportunity, and we want to make the numbers for this. That's our next step, because for example, at this moment, I have been talking with four potential people interested. Uh, there are more people. If you accept me on LinkedIn, I can introduce you with the groups. I have three groups, and for the moment, I talked with two persons that they are interested. I have been talking with people from, for example, from Africa, that they told me that they are interested, but they are not participating in the last meetings. So we are not conducting the investment agreement yet, for the reason we want to make the numbers in order to combine more people or more investors. Because yesterday I had a conversation with a potential investor that he explained me, uh, probably we can make the MVP if we pay the people who can build the MVP. But we need, the next step is to make the budget. That's our next step. Sorry. There are people from different countries. For example, yesterday I was talking with someone from Uruguay here in South America. There are someone in Mexico. There are three people in Nigeria, and most of us are located in Colombia. But as I told you, some people probably could be supporting us, validating the prototype, but we are filtering the team. That's the process that we are doing right now. Okay. So in this point, I want to explain you uh, another path that I propose to make for partnerships. If you see the presentation of Ballman that I shared with you, I explained that we define four type of projects. In this case, for example, we are going to make to raise money to make a user research, and in this case, we can create assets, and we are trying to create a new product. For example, a new product, it means that the product has a brand, is composed and could be composed for various assets. For example, I was providing to the board a draft of a provisional patent application. It is not complete, but in this case, for example, if you are part of the inventors in the methods of the provisional patent application, you can have a participation in the asset. At this moment, we are offering the equity for a product, but the product could have, for example, in this case, we are planning to positionate a brand, and we are partners in the brand, and we, for example, we can be partners, we can be shareholders in in with a different participation in a patent, because you provide a method of someone else of your team, and we can make a distribution for this, and the asset could be licensed our to our product or to other products. It is a little bit the model that International Business Machine uses. They have a lot of uh, asset of patents, and they license the patents to other companies mainly. They don't they don't offer their own products to the market. So this is a one path. This is a proposal. The other point is that at this moment I don't want to to go deep about the participation of the company. I prefer to offer debt notes, convertible debt notes. And for example, we can make a safe agreement by deliverable contribution. In your case, you explain in the first stage, I am going to invest at risk 100, 200, 500 hours of development, and we don't say you will receive 5% of the company for this. No, you will make a deliverable, and we make a debt note, a convertible debt note, that when we calculate the company, we will convert it into shares. It also requests, for example, to create a multiplier, because you need to consider the cost of opportunity of your time, that you could be paid for this, and it could work, or it could not work. In this case, for example, the provisional patent application document, the draft that I shared with you, attempts to protect those ideas that I am sharing to you, in order to, after you make the match with someone else, you need to make methods to facilitate the partnerships. So I want to invite you, if you can read about it. If you have any other question, I explain how we can make it. As I explaining, for example, we can make a vesting by time measurement. That if when you make a vesting agreement, you don't receive the shares at first. You need to get a duty, for example, that you will work. It doesn't matter if we receive a salary. We need to work 2 or 5 years, and we start to provide the shares during the time. Or if, for example, in this case that we are able to make through sourcing, we can make vesting by deliverable, that you say, okay, for the moment I can only get the duty not to stay 2 or 5 years. I only want to make it, and then you go to validate. That's an option. And for example, in this case, what we are trying to create with Minnzer, we will digitalize all of these uh, all of these options, because when you make a match, you need to provide how to facilitate the next step. And in this case, for example, you can make a match with someone else according to goals and problems, You can make a match for activism, but you don't need to make agreement for this. But in this case, if you are making a match for potential business or for an entrepreneurship opportunity, you need to provide the tools to facilitate the match, and it will be very useful to improve the match if we go deep about this model between researchers, between inventors, and between entrepreneurs, because it facilitates that you don't need to make a large duty as the traditional path of entrepreneurship. You can make you can be able to make crowdsourcing. That's not so usual, and that's what we are trying to create with this model. So we need to make to go deep. What you mean the equity model? But the point, are you familiar with convertible debt notes? No, no, but the point that you must probably study about convertible debt notes. That's the point, because the convertible debt notes attempts to postpone the participation of the company, because sometimes when you are starting, someone say you, okay, give me the 50% of your company and I make it, and you have a duty, and in the future it will not be a good position for anyone, because if you make a next round, I think that you need to go deep about the venture capital model. We are planning to become a venture backed startup. We, for example, in the same rounds, usually you provide less than 10% of the company, but if we don't know if the company is valuated in $10 million, $100 million, $1 billion. We are not going to say you, because I tell you, okay, I will give you the 20% of the company right now if you give us the team of blockchain and Python and some hours. Then if you when you will give the next step, uh, the other potential investor will perceive that the company uh, didn't start it in a good way because it was undervalued, and you already make an agreement. So for this reason, the convertible debt notes could facilitate this process, because you don't waste time about the valuation of the company. You just receive the resources that you need, and you need to study a little bit. If you want, I can share you a little bit about it, about safe agreement, that it means safe agreement for future equity. Okay. But I want to understand your point. The problem is that I am not have a good song here because there are a lot of noise. But what you mean is that for the moment you want to wait for the financial information. We have probably a value of the company, and then you decide if you are able to invest. And for the moment, you are only interested in offer your services when we have budget. That's what you mean. Yes, the MVP is not very clear because we have, for example, if we receive $100 tomorrow, we need to define the scope of the MVP with $100 because we can pay 1 year of salary. Sorry, but I want to explain you the challenge of crowdsourcing. At this moment, I can make requirements of the scope of an MVP because I don't have the time of all the people. For example, if you say me, okay, it doesn't matter the scope of the MVP, but I can risk $100 of blockchain and Python development. Use it. For example, if we make this agreement, but for this reason, the next step that we are planning to do is to organize the financial information because someone requested it. It will provide a more clear way about how we can generate revenue, and the people could be more interested, and we can estimate a company value. That's what we are trying to do. In this case, yesterday I was talking about how we can measure the market size of a problem. If you perceive how larger could be the market of the organization who manage or who lead the management of data, or the management of data and information related with problems and goals. Nobody's making it. I don't know what it could be the size of the market, and we need to go deep about it. Okay, okay, no problem. See, we need to finish it. That's what we need to do it right now. Okay, so if we connect, I can introduce you with the people to start connecting the potential co-founders if you want, and you can read the historical conversation about what we have been talking about it. You can just in, and then you get the decision at any moment. But feel free to start connecting with new people and make networking. I also would like to connect with you because I want to connect you with some companies who are a startup studio or who are planning to become a startup studio, and it requires a lot of B2B services of software. Yes, yes. For the reason I writing you that if you accept me the connection, I can introduce you in a group to those people, and you make the match, and then you decide what you want to do. Because I am at this moment focusing on this, but that's what I'm trying to explain you. Because I think that many companies will require the services of your company. It doesn't matter if we start right now, but if, for example, if we make Minnzer, we are not participating in all the business, but we are going to improve the match, and I want to match you with some people from my network. That's what I'm trying to say you. Okay, sure. Thank you so much, de Baraj. Have a good day. Thank you for your time. Bye bye. So 9:30 conversation. So today is November 7th, Tuesday. I finished the conversation. I hope it works to explain more of the model. And that's all. I have another meeting.